This is QTV News and I am Jana Basonko. Coming up, Gambia Press Union condemns attack on 2 journalists by alleged APRC supporters. Over 140 journalists were arrested and 15 media houses arbitrarily shut down during former President Yahya Jammeh's 22 years power, GPU Secretary General Sekou Jammeh told TRRC. While farmers have welcomed the rains, others have not been so pleased to see the seasonal downpour. Drivers and traders have complained of the diverse effect rainfall has on their trade. The Gambia presented its quadrennial report on the UNESCO 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Culture. The report is a commitment of the signatories to the convention and is meant to be submitted every 4 years. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. The Gambia Press Union has issued a press release condemning an attack on the cameraman of Fatu Network and reporter for Radio France International at the High Court in Banjul Monday afternoon, allegedly by supporters of the former ruling party APRC. The statement says the 2 journalists were allegedly attacked by sympathizers of the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, who were at the High Court complex to show solidarity to Yankuba Toure, one of the founders of the party, who is being tried for murder. It is claimed the attack on the journalists happened outside the court as journalist Modu Zaidi of the Fatu Network and Roman Johnson of RFI were filming APRC supporters. It is claimed they were then attacked by a group who seized their cameras, which were damaged in the attack. Johnson had to flee the scene. The GPU has expressed concern about the frequency of such attacks by the alleged APRC sympathizers. The GPU called on political parties to take measures to educate and sensitize their supporters to understand that journalists are not enemies. Meanwhile, the Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, Sekou Jammeh, has told commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that over 140 journalists were arrested and 15 media houses arbitrarily shut down during former President Jammeh's 22 years in power. He made the disclosure while testifying at the ongoing TRRC public hearings. Former Information Minister Ali Jawa also appeared before the Commission, testifying on his arrest, detention, victimization at the defunct National Intelligence Agency. QTV's Ansumana Isonyasi is covering the TRRC proceedings, and he now reports.
2 witnesses appeared before TRRC commissioners on Tuesday. Sekou Jammeh, Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, and Demba Ali Jawo, former GPU President, who also served as Information Minister under the Barrow administration from February 2017 to June 2018. Continuing his testimony at the ongoing public hearing on the intimidation, arbitrary closure of media houses, arbitrary arrest, detention, torture of journalists, and the institution of repressive media laws during former President Jammeh's 22 years rule. The Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, Sekou Jammeh, told the Commission that from July 1994 to January 2017, over 140 journalists were arrested and 15 media houses arbitrarily shut down.
When an attack is made on a journalist, know that this is an attack that is aimed at curtailing the rights and freedoms of every individual in society, because press freedom became the first casualty of the Jammeh regime, and we all know what that resulted into. I mean, we are talking about the human rights violations, we are talking about the looting of our money, we are talking about underdevelopment of the country. All this were there because the media has failed or was supposed to fail in its responsibility to hold the government to account. And that was because the media was gagged and the people were sitting comfortably looking at how journalists were being arrested, killed, and, tortured.
Furthermore, he alleged that according to research, about 20% of practicing Gambian journalists were living in exile. He also alleged that two journalists, Dede Haidara and Omar Barrow, were killed, while journalist Chief Ibrahim Amane disappeared after he was allegedly arrested by agents of the defunct National Intelligence Agency. For these and many other crimes against the media, the witness alleged no one was brought to book and there were no conclusive, credible state investigations into these incidents. Next up was Demba Ali Jaw, former president of the Gambia Press Union and one-time information minister under the Barrow administration. DA, as he is fondly called, was testifying in relation to his several arrests and detention, the several attempts on his life, and the assassination of Dede Haidara. In his testimony, he alleged that during his time as president of the Gambia Press Union, he received multiple complaints and threats from government officials about journalists and media houses who were deemed to be critical of the Jammeh regime. He also told the commission that on one occasion, he was arrested and placed in a mosquito-infested cell for 2 nights at the NIA for allegedly writing an article critical of the government.
Honestly, sleeping was out of the question. There was no way that anybody could sleep under such a condition when mosquitoes were all over my body. You know, the following day, my whole body was itching as if I had some skin disease or whatever. That was the situation, and I had to spend 2 nights in that particular. There was no, the warder came and pointed at some wooden bench, and he said, "You can lie on that one." That is exactly where. When I wanted to drink, he pointed at the toilet. He said, "There is a sink there. You can drink from there." And that was it. I mean, it was not a nice experience at all.
He is expected to reappear before the commission on Wednesday to continue his testimony. Ansumana Iso Nyasi for KTV News.
UNESCO, in collaboration with the National Center for Arts and Culture, launched the Gambia's quadrennial periodic report on the UNESCO 2005 Convention, which is about the protection and promotion of the diversity of cultural expression.
The UNESCO Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Diversity of Culture has now been ratified by a majority of the world's government, with the Gambia doing so in 2011. Although the Gambia signed the convention in 2011, this was its first quadrennial every 4 years reports. At the event, the importance of the cultural and creative industries were spelled out. There are 30 million jobs in the sector worldwide, and the sector employs more people between the ages of 15 to 29 than other sectors. Furthermore, the importance of the sector cannot be overstated economically, as it makes up to 10% of the GDP in some countries. An important part of the reason for sharing the report was to emphasize that sharing of information and transparency are crucial to delivering on the convention. Signatory countries live up to their commitments by submitting these reports every 4 years. Hadijatu Kamara UNESCO, on her speech, stated that the convention provides a strategic framework requiring government and non-governmental organizations to work together to achieve their goals.
It requires not only governments, but also non-government actors to work together to achieve 4 main goals. 1, strengthening governance for culture. 2, improving the condition for the mobility of artists. 3, integrating culture in sustainable development strategies through, for example, national sustainable development policies and plans. And 4, promoting human rights and fundamental freedoms such as equality and artistic freedom. These 4 goals are also aligned with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, with different entry points, such as the Sustainable Development Goal 4 on quality education, the SDG 5 on gender equality, or SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth.
Hamad Ba, Minister of Tourism and Culture, also spoke of the importance of the convention, giving as an example UNESCO's data that the cultural and creative industries are among the fastest growing sectors in the world, with an estimated worth of $4.3 billion per year. He went on to further explain the advancement of general annual revenue collection and of employment opportunities created in the cultural and creative industries.
They generate annual revenues of $2.250 billion and nearly 30 million jobs worldwide, employing more people aged 15 to 29 than any other sector. The cultural and creative industry have become essential for inclusive economic growth, reducing inequalities, and achieving the goals set out in 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. According to UNESCO, the adoption of the 2005 Convention for Protection and Promotion of the diversity of cultural expression was a milestone in international cultural policy. Through this historic agreement, the global community formally recognized the dual nature, both cultural and economic, of the contemporary cultural expression produced by artists and cultural professionals, shaping this design and implementation of policies and measures that support the creation, production, distribution of all access to cultural goods and services.
The convention reinforces organizational structures that have a direct impact on the different stages of the cultural value chain, including creation, production, dissemination, distribution, and enjoyment of cultural goods, services, and activities. Reporting for QTV News, I am Mamjara Isise.
The rainy season has started, and while it's a plus for farmers, it is a problem for others, such as drivers and pedestrians, even more so for people in Ibo Town and Nemokunku. These are the people most affected whenever there is a heavy downpour. The rain has blocked main roads, in which is the distressing issue in the KMC. People we spoke to expressed their dissatisfaction at the way rainfall affects their businesses and thus their livelihoods. Ajibintu Drame was there and she now reports.
This is the first rain and it is already creating problems for drivers plying the Ibo Town and Nemokunku route. The rain has also pushed litters into the streets, blocked the passage of water into sewages, causing air pollution. Natives of Ibo Town and drivers of Nemokunku complained about the effect on their businesses. Biranchor, a tailor and native of Ibo Town, says the poor drainage system and bad roads affects his business. He adds that sometimes the water from the streets comes into his shop, which affects him badly. He urged the KMC to help address the problem.
If it rains, we cannot even stand here. The bad odor from the gutters, which can cause health problems. Sometimes, when it rains, we do not even operate. We sit at home because the water from the streets gets into our shops. I'm urging the KMC to look for solutions, especially the litters in the streets, because this is absolutely not nice for the eyes. This is where we spend the whole day and eat here. It's not fair at all.
Sehungalan, a native of Nemokunku, explains how the rain creates stagnant water on the road and affects the environment. He adds that the government has promised numerous times to solve the problem, but that has never been the case. Due to the bad Nemokunku road, drivers avoid it, making it difficult for them as they need to use another route, which is quite far to access the highway. Drivers of Nemokunku explain their frustration. Sheikh Sane, a driver plying the Nemokunku road, explains the difficulties they face during the rainy season. He says it also affects commuters in times of emergencies, such as transporting a pregnant woman who has to deliver. He adds that due to the bad road, they are unable to operate.
Truly speaking, we face lots of challenges. If it rains, we sit for hours before we drive because we don't want to take a longer route. It's quite expensive to get fuel, but sometimes we have to. It's our livelihood. Sometimes we even get stuck in bad roads, damaging our vehicles.
Famara Sanyang, a driver also plying the Nema road, expressed the same frustration over the issue. The rain creates stagnant water in some areas, making people prone to health hazards. It also enters people's houses, causing damage due to poor drainage system. However, the construction of good roads will enhance the smooth running of businesses. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
We now take a short commercial break. When we return, the news continues. It is the new era in broadcasting. We showed it to you with our continuously improving content. With thousands of viewers around the world, now, how do you take advantage of our existing and constantly increasing viewership? Advertise with QTV and reach a large audience. Call us on 324444 or email marketing@qtv.gm. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. QTV Gambia. QTV, a new era in broadcasting.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
A Christian organization, Anointed Reigning Mighty Youths, made a donation of sand and 30 bags of cement to the Gambia Armed Forces for the construction of a church at the Yundum Barracks. QTV's Babukar Fati has more.
Anointed Reigning Mighty Youth is a non-governmental organization formed in 2016 by youth from different dioceses around the country, with the aim of fostering and encouraging unity in the community. The organization also seeks to contribute positively to the development of the diocese across the country and to consolidate the unity among the youths, who wish to give selfless service to God through the church to the poor and needy. As part of fulfilling their aims and aspirations, ARMY made a donation of sand and 30 bags of cement to the Christians in the armed forces to start building a church in Union Barracks. Military dignitaries were on hand for the presentation. Speaking on behalf of the Anointed Reigning Mighty Youth, the Vice President Luis Andrew Mendy explained why these items were donated.
Deem it fit to come and contribute our quota, since we are Christian youths and this is the first time in the Gambia that we're having a chapel built in a barracks. So we thought it wise that it would be very beneficial for the Gambia National Army to have a chapel. So we discussed within ourselves at executive level and we seek consent of our elders in the diocese and they supported the idea, and then we came here now to donate our quota. This bags of cement and this strip of sand, we brought it here for the chapel to be built as a worship center for the soldiers here to be able to perform their religious activities here in the camp.
The PRO of the ARMY, Zindi Anthony Levy, also spoke about the aims of the association and the aid they have provided to other organizations.
To support the building of this chapel, for it is a national development project, and it is among our goals as a group to actually help and give aid to other groups. We have actually been doing this for a couple of years now, with a lot of activities like visiting the hospital, and we have also visited the Tanka Hospital. This donation is actually to help in the building of the project, and this project we deem it fit to actually see that it comes true, because it will actually help the National Army in their spiritual life too.
Speaking on behalf of the Gambia Armed Forces, Major Angelique J. Gomez thanked ARMY for the donation and spoke of the beneficial impact this donation will have on the life of the Christian soldiers in the barracks.
This really going to benefit the people inside the camp, because they always leave the camp all the way to Lamin to worship. But if this chapel is there, they are no more going outside to worship. They are going to worship inside. And also people outside within the surrounding area, they will also come and worship, because some walk from distance to go to Lamin, either Lamin or somewhere else to worship. But if this chapel is built here, I think it will be good for the people here around this area.
As these youth of different parishes come together as a Christian family and to come up with a meaningful project that will help to develop their diocese, they hope to continue their good work of helping the needy. Babakar Fati, reporting for QTV News.
26 pupils have completed a 3-year course in tailoring, tie and dye, cookery and pastry. Participants were also trained on life skill programs to better prepare them for challenges that lie ahead. Babukar Sise reports.
The ceremony was organized on Saturday by Sunrise Educational Center in Bakote. Speaking at the ceremony, The Education Director of Sunrise Center, Alkali Cham, says people should learn skills instead of venturing into dangerous backway journeys. He added that those with skills are easily employable.
Life skills in general is very important. Most of these students are termed in the society as dropouts, so many are with the view that they wouldn't make it in life. We have taken off that bad concept in their mind, and they are proving. They have proved to the whole world today that they can do better. And as like I do that in my speech, almost about 70% of this batch currently are employed. We are sending this signal to the people out there, especially the young people, and especially those that will take up backways as a way of enriching themselves. So if they acquire skills, of course, they will be employed, and they can also employ themselves. And the poverty that we are talking about in the society, I mean, these skills could be a result to cutting the chain of poverty in society.
Kadi Aibojang, a participant who completed a 3-year program in tailoring, says she wants to produce her own brand and also create employment for the youth.
This is what I believe in. Not everyone is meant to work in an office. Skills is something which that is very important in one's life. What I am planning is to open my own fashion shop where I can be sewing African outfits that is made by myself, my own creation, and then employ other young people who are willing to learn skills.
A Year 2 student, Maria Baji, explains that not all who enroll in skills training are school dropouts. Instead, there are lots of advantages, she added.
Let them stop having the concept that skills training is just for dropout students. I say no. Because for me, myself standing here before you, I am a deeper life graduate from grade 12 and I come to the school. The benefit of this skill training is, after the skill training, without going further to add up your education, you can have your own skills training center or your shop where you can do your business. Even not earning salary but you can earn every day.
Having life skills is an essential part of being able to meet the challenges of everyday life. The program provides students with training in personal self-management, social skills, and social resistance skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, decision-making, and interpersonal relationships, among others. Babakar Sise, QTV News.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. The Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, Sekou Jammeh, has told commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission that over 140 journalists were arrested and 15 media houses arbitrarily shut down during the former President Jammeh's 22 years in power. He made this disclosure while testifying at the ongoing TRRC public hearings. While farmers have welcomed the rains, others have not been so pleased to see the seasonal downpour. Drivers and traders have complained of the diverse effect rainfall has on their trade. The Gambia presented its quadrennial report on the UNESCO 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of Culture. The report is a commitment for signatories to the convention and is meant to be submitted every 4 years. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.